Okay. Well, I loved RPGs when I was younger, and I still love them. So pretty much anything in that category. Now I love fighting games as well. As for anime, it's always a funny question for me. I haven't seen that much, but I'm working on it. There are a few things here and there. That was a really broad and not specific answer at all, but that's my answer.
I like a lot of games from a lot of different genres and a lot of different animes. I'd say just kind of try to go genre by genre. When it comes to fighting games, like Soul Calibur 4, a lot of Street Fighter. When it comes to first-person shooters, Left 4 Dead and Team Fortress 2, as well as Jedi Knight. Big fan of Star Fox.
Yes.
I did play a lot of Killer Instinct back in the day when it comes to fighting games. Don't know if anyone cares about that one.
Yeah.
When it comes to anime, I'd say one of my all-time favorites is Robotech, really old series, but has lots of good music, lots of good transforming mecha, and it's just really big. It's really like the whole war tied in with music, tied in with what the hell's going on. Deculture. Yeah.
We're very proud. My favorite, well, I started off playing RPGs more than anything else, and after starting with Ultimate Exodus for the NES, then sort of made my way up to Final Fantasy VI, and 7, and Chrono Trigger, and just sort of looped around from there. My favorite game is either Final Fantasy Tactics or Castlevania Symphony of the Night, just because it's Symphony of the Night. Funniest story, actually, was reading Electronic Gaming Monthly when I was a teenager, and I only bought the game because of the high score that was in the magazine. I never played a Castlevania game before Symphony of the Night, actually, and it blasphemy. But I picked it up on a whim, and I fell in love with it. It was fabulous. Anime, I'm a bit picky on. My first anime was Evangelion, which I was a bit upset. I had like the VHS tapes all lined up, all $300 worth of ADV way back in the day.
Wow.
Well, 13 tapes times $25 is probably not that, but it's a lot.
It's 2 DVDs now.
Yeah. I'd say one of my favorite shows at the moment is actually Lucky Star, because it's so cute, slice of life, and very simple. And it's almost like watching Seinfeld with all women who are Japanese schoolgirls delivering slice of life anecdotes. And you really can't get any better than that when you're doing anime. Like, what is wrong with these cream whores? You try to break it open, there's one side of this chocolate, and the other side of the chocolate comes out. What's the deal? I'm done. Yeah.
All right. I've enjoyed a lot of video games and also a good bit of anime. And for video games, I've been playing those since I was a kid. I think it started for the anime with maybe Robotech as a kid and Nausicaa of the Valley Wind.
Nice.
And the gaming started with NES, and I just kept playing. And at this point, I couldn't even tell you how many video games I've played, but right now I mostly play fighting games competitively, particularly Guilty Gear and Street Fighter 4. For anime, some of my favorites would have to be Cowboy Bebop, Evangelion, Hellsing is maybe the anime that got me into anime on a kind of deeper level. I went to Anime Expo New York the one year that they had it, and I remember watching Hellsing in one of the video rooms, and I just, oh my god, this is amazing! And started collecting anime, and it's just kind of gone from there. That should cover it.
For me, probably my favorite video game of all time would be Chrono Trigger on the Super Nintendo. The whole Super Nintendo RPG era is probably where I had a lot of great memories of video games and stuff like Mario RPG, the Lufia series, and whatever else. But Chrono Trigger stood out amongst them all as my favorites. I also play a lot of Team Fortress 2 on PC. That's completely opposite end of the spectrum. My anime, I guess, my favorites are kind of along those same lines. Love Hina was one of my favorites. What do you even call that? Harem kind of whatever. But then Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, 2 amazing series. And there was one other one I was thinking of a little bit ago. Porco Rosso, actually, from Studio Ghibli. It's one of my favorite anime movies out there. So I should about cover that.
For the longest time, I guess at the very most, stretching back to Christmas 1998, I would say that my favorite game was Ocarina of Time on N64, and it still is an absolutely amazing game. You know, I wouldn't take anything away from that. But when Twilight Princess came out, it swept me off my feet. I loved it so much. I really felt like it took everything that Ocarina of Time sort of set in place and just expanded upon it. I was a real big fan of that. Final Fantasy IX, another one of my very top favorite games. One that unfortunately doesn't always get the recognition that some of the other Final Fantasies get, but definitely my favorite. Big fan of the Metal Gear Solid series. Andrew and Jer got me playing like Team Fortress 2 and Left 4 Dead. The Street Fighter series. Oh man. I guess I have to mention World of Warcraft. I have played quite a bit of that. It's a pretty fun thing sometimes. When your account isn't being hacked, I did just unfortunately have that happen.
Touch that game.
Yeah, it can get a bit much, but as far as anime goes, probably my all-time favorite anime is Azumanga Daioh, and I actually cried when it ended. I broke down in tears and cried because I was so sad that there wasn't any more. But that's how much I loved Azumanga Daioh.
It's a good story.
Yeah. It was a weird day. It's like I want to watch more. I also really like Cowboy Bebop and Full Metal Alchemist. I would also note. I think that's all I got.
Oh gosh, I mean, a lot of my favorites are definitely been echoed by all the others that have been mentioned here. But I guess some of the things that haven't been mentioned video game wise, I really like the Suikoden series, the Lunar series. I played a lot of Contra, and as far as shows go and movies, I really love Ghost in the Shell, Serial Experiments Lane, anything that, Miyazaki Isao directed, or Shoot Guy, really have had a big influence on just on my interest in music and art and life.
As far as anime goes, I think my gateway drug was a videotape I got out of the Blockbuster called The Adventures of Ultraman, which I didn't
Rockin'
find.
it old school.
Which I didn't find out until later was actually some spliced together TV episodes from an animated series. I must have spent 10 years looking for this, and I finally got it from some guy who had it in his basement at a party, which was amazing. I think my favorite anime has to be Rurouni Kenshin. It's very, very close to my heart.
TV or OVA? Or both?
Both. As far as video games go, I'm kind of dull. My favorite series are probably the NES Ninja Gaiden trilogy. Thank you. Tetris and all its forms and incarnations, and I've been on a huge Castlevania kick lately. I'm still slogging my way through Circle of the Moon. I jump around. I play Ecclesia. If it's got Castlevania on it, I'll at least check it out.
Don't forget about Bloodlines.
I never had a PS2.
It's not a PS2.
Genesis game.
Genesis. I never had a
Nobody knows Bloodlines.
I never had a Genesis. Nintendo for life.